June, the church celebrates the feast of Saints Peter and Paul, both of whom, if you think about it, were unlikely people to play the kind of role they did in the early days of the church. For this video, I'd like to focus on the choice of St. Paul. Many of us have known the story of St. Paul's conversion for so long that it's possible for us to forget just how crazy and unexpected it really was. After all, this was the guy who led the charge against the earliest believers. He was the tip of the spear in the first great persecution endured by the church. And yet it was this guy that God chose to be his great instrument. It kind of reminds me of one of those old school teenage movies where the nerdiest guy at school is smitten with the most beautiful girl on campus. And against all odds, by the end of the movie, he somehow managed to get her to fall in love with him. It makes for a fun movie plot, but it's wildly unrealistic in real life. But sure enough, here we have God on the lookout for his great apostle to the Gentiles, and he happens to see Saul breathing out furious rage against the early Christians. And with a twinkle in his eye, God points at Saul and says, "That guy." Again, we shouldn't really be surprised by this, because making use of the most unlikeliest of people and situations has been well established as God's mode of operation by this point. And in a strange way, it does make sense. If God chose someone virtuous with immense talent and drive, in other words, the sort of person we'd probably choose for an important job, chances are that any success they would have would either go to their head or at least see them hailed by others for their greatness. But by choosing the weakest and most unlikely candidates for his work, God is making it obvious that the great things being done are his doing, not ours. Of course, this observation that God tends to choose weak and unlikely instruments is a rather humbling thing for us disciples to realize, especially us priests. It makes it clear to us that anything good and beautiful we're able to accomplish in this life is all God's doing, not ours. And the degree to which we become prideful in our life's work is the degree to which we're likely to fall flat on our face. But this is something to give thanks for in the end, because God's ways and designs are infinitely greater than anything we could hope to come up with on our own. And our great privilege as Christ's disciples is that we get to go along for the ride. And as the lives of the saints through the centuries show us, what a ride it is. Well, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, be a saint.